Welcome back. Well, we now talk about a person of interest. He wore the khaki for over a decade, but somewhere between duty and detail, Shivaraju picked up a camera and never put it down.
Today, the world knows him as Cop Shiva, a former constable who now tells India's most tender, most complex and most colourful stories through his lens. Just look at his photos. He's the winner of the Sovereign Asia Art Prize's public vote. He's also a Harvard Fellow now, and we're so excited to have him with us to talk a little bit more about his art. Cop Shiva, good morning. Lovely to oh, you're lovely. You're wearing a topi, you're wearing a kurta. Cop Shiva, thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your outfit choice first, and then we'll ask you more questions.
No, not always I wear, seasonal, because now is the Independence Day, then, now so many khadi shops, so then I go visit, and then I know I wanted to support the khadi shop people, so then I go, I buy, I wear. The clothes for me is not particularly I wear one type of clothes, then I have like a tons of clothes because I love color. I buy so many different kind of colors, so many clothes I have, I keep on wearing, not particularly stick with only these, that and all.
Okay, lovely. We can't wait but hear from you. How did you transition from being a cop to a photographer? That's some transition.
Yeah, I finished my 10th. Actually, my education is only 10th standard, So then I was 21. I got a job because I wanted to support my family. I'm a sportsman. I'm a long distance runner. Because of that quota, I got it quickly, the police job. I was 21. Then I worked more than a decade in Karnataka police. So for me, then when I was kid, because of my grandfather influence, because he is a mythological theater, then he used to influence me to take me all this overnight mythological theater to see. So that time, I get into art throughout him. Then he used to do small roles. Then he used to tell me, then when you grow, you have to be a big actor. So in that connection for me, I always say in my heart I wanted to be an artist because I didn't get opportunity to be an artist. Then when I was 30, then I become artist. Police turn photographer.
Are there parts of being a police person you think that affected the way that you create art, that made you look at the world in a certain way?
So I think, for me, I look like, people, I also work as a, I love common people, extraordinary life. And then, so then I work with them in the street, then I know I love to see, every human being has more sympathy. And for me, as a police, then one thing I learned, then that is helping me as a artist now, then, so you accept the way they are. You try to listen to them. I think then it's easy for me to work. I think every human being like how to learn that to be accept the people the way they are, and try to we have to listen them. Then the joy and pain that equally.
Cop Shiva, my eyes are constantly glued to the screen because look at those lovely pictures. Let's take it one by one. Tell us about being Gandhi when you took photos of the teacher dressed as Gandhi.
I think we have those photos.
Yeah,
we'll just pull those up also.
So yeah, when I started my photography journey, already I started like MG Ramchandran impersonator. Then I'm interested more masquerade people to work. I saw him when I was in duty. He came to perform in some cultural event. Then I saw him. I'm unable to talk because I'm wearing a uniform, holding a lathi. I was in duty. So I finished the duty. I'm back to home. I took my camera. Then I'm running back to the cultural center. The program is almost over. I'm unable to find him. So I quite disappointed. And then, so the next day morning, then actually I read newspaper every day. So the next day morning, I saw a small note about the Gandhi impersonator. He's coming from the Bagade Halli, his village name. So then what I did, then I tried to contact the journalist, and journalist put in touch with some local journalist. It took almost like 12 days to get his phone number. So then finally I got his number, and I went and saw him in village first day, like casual meeting. So he showed me like his all old photo archive, So then he actually now almost is 22 years now he got impersonating as a Gandhi. So almost now I started 2010 now, almost 15 years,
Wow.
15 years now this ongoing project. So, that moment, then I spoke with him, then I told him about my idea, and then, so then he agreed, and then I start documenting him whenever he impersonate as a Mahatma Gandhi. So Basavaraj is a private school teacher. Then he is a Gandhi follower, and then he thinks the Gandhi values are disappearing nowadays, and then he wanted to bring back the Gandhi values through the children's. So that's why he choose National Festival Day is his own money. He goes to different city, either village. So dress up like Mahatma Gandhi, putting silver paint, wearing slipper, like the wearing a khadi dress and all. So he visiting schools to educate Gandhi values through the Gandhi impersonating role.
Wow. Okay, Cop Shiva, Being Gandhi was one of your series. Now tell us about your more recent work. So we've pulled it up on our screens right now, and this work has a very beautiful story, I think. A story with a lot of meaning. When you were younger, we read this in some research, when you were younger, you walked into a photo studio with your mother, and I believe you realized you couldn't afford a session. And that's when you decided, growing up, years later, to create this session. Is that the right version of what happened?
No, then I have not thought in that time, to go to build a studio, because that is a disappointment moment for me, So then, for me, when I used to go, because we used to cross a small city called Chennapatna to go to my grandfather village. My grandfather used to come us took us, and we having some dosa, and then we used to walk from the city to village almost 6 kilometers. So whenever I crossing the city, I used to see this photo studio. They used to display lots of pictures to attract customers. So then I used to go and check all the things in the mirror, the photograph. So the finally one day, I used to ask my grandfather, I want to get photograph with my mother. So once we went, so then almost we combed our hair, put some powder, and it's almost we going to get photographed. Then my grandfather just silently took my hand and and take me out from the studio. So then he bought some chocolate, and then he told me then he didn't have that much money to be get photographed. So that is the last incident, So then in my photography means, for me, So then we never get a chance to get photograph, and we don't have any single photograph together. So when I moving to city, working as a police, and become an artist. So I saw so many people working as the old photo archive, and and old family archive. I go to some of my artist friends' house. They have so many the found memories photographed in an entire house. They used to tell story. This is me. This is my father. This is my grandfather. I was in college. I was in Paris. I was in Hootie and all thing. So then, I used to think, how come I don't have one single photograph, So then I have so the thousand of memories with my mother, but I don't have one single photograph. So then in the 2016, 17, then I thought about that. Okay, let's, then I'm start articulating, then I have to work with my memories about my childhood memories. So then 2017, then I start writing, and I start articulating all my recollecting, all the memories to articulate to it, Doya, the photo project. So 2018, then I started this project.
I absolutely love this series with your mom, and just the depth that each of these photographs bring to the table. Lovely. Cop Shiva, walk us through this one photo in particular, and we'll pull that up, where both of you all are wearing the kala chashma, a lot of jewelry. There's a lot of colors in the background. Tell us
we'll just
more
pull that
about
photo
yeah.
up.
Tell us more about that picture. Yeah.
So, for me, then I'm really fascinated about old studio photography. I think, the backdrop, the people taking photographs in front of the backdrops and all things. So now, most of the studio, the old studio, the back photo studios that disappear. So then, for my mom, particularly, my mom liked to wear a gold before, not now. So when I was baby, my mom, because whenever she saw some wealthy people wearing gold, whenever you go to some family marriage or any program, my mom used to admire whoever wearing a lots of gold. So I know I know my mom loved to wear a gold, but we couldn't afford. She couldn't afford to buy a wear a gold. So, that is the memory for me. My mom loved gold, my mom loved gold. That memory. So then I found like a old studio backdrop. So then one of my police friend, helped me to get some old studio uh, backdrop in northern part of Karnataka. I traveled almost 22 days, different part of north of Karnataka, to find some few like a leftover, now some few studios left. So then I went and met the owners. Then I discussed with them my project, and then I requested them to give me the backdrop for my project. So that beautiful backdrop, so that's like a dream backdrop. Then finally the backdrop I got as a gift I have with me. That I really love that backdrop. So that the
So do
backdrop
we.
itself like as a dream. You know. So then I set up as me and my mother wearing it's lots of the not a real gold, so 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 the lots of jewelry and crown and all things. Then I know then that is finally I said, okay, then I'm okay, we have something, we're wearing a jewelry. I think it's a dream, so the memory dream, I try to put all together in that particular frame.
Cop Shiva, your work is, in one word, so colorful. How did you develop that, Cop Shiva is going to equal bright, saturated colors? How did that happen?
So for me, color always, is a positive for me. I love color. I wearing color, so then I think I wear color. I think everybody likes to see color, to look color. I think many of my friends, they are afraid to wear color, but they like to look at when I'm wearing color, others wearing. But you see, as I come to India, this is India is where you see, I'm a South Indian. You see any temple, you see is very colorful. You can come to see any festival is very colorful. So the place where I grow up, the Ramnagar, the Sholay Ramnagar. So I grew up surrounded by the colorful temple, mountain, and the mythology theaters are all things is a very colorful, very colorful in the lighting and backdrop and the full makeup and all the things. I that all influenced me as a kid. And then when I become artist, then I really start using all this color to this particular project. So then as I mentioned, so this the memory for me is an old studio of studio backdrop also. You see any old studio photography. So it's very bright, it's a beautiful backdrop and all things.
Yeah.
I try to bring all that, the memory and the life what I had in the past throughout this project. So that's why then I used some old studio backdrop, and then I used some old mythological theater backdrop.
So, Cop Shiva, tell us how you sharpened your ability, because when you were a cop, you were working probably 12-hour work days, right? So, uske beech mein, how did you get the time to become a better photographer?
So not only photography, just for me, I'm start looking art in Bangalore. I'm going to different galleries, different alternative art spaces, and I'm start looking art. So once in Karnataka Chitrakala Parishad, I met ex-principal, the Suresh Jairam. He runs the place called One Shanti Road Studio Gallery. So then he invited me to come for some exhibition reception. Then I went one day. Then I I threatened myself because of the crowd, so the art crowd is like, is a different crowd. For me, I'm coming from village, like, the mythological theater kind of crowd, this city art crowd is completely different. So that when I went first time, then I little bit nervous, and then, so then I'm a brave person, so I really like the atmosphere. I saw the exhibition, and then I keep on going that places. And then I slowly, gradually, I start connecting with the local art community. And Suresh allowed me to stay in Vanshanti Road and work with him, whenever I have a free time. So whenever I have a night duty, the daytime, I used to work in Vanshanti Road to help Suresh. And there is a Vanshanti Road basically runs the international artist residency. So all over the world, different kind of artists coming and staying and working. I start helping them to build a project, buy a material, and showing around the city. And in the Shanti Road had a small 12 megapixel camera, so they asked me to document them practice also during the residency. That is my turning point. So then I used to hold a rifle as a policeman. Then I got camera to to explore the art world. It's like that. That is a turning point. Like, and I am one, like, police, like, turn artist becoming.
Also, tell us, how did you develop your taste? How did it all begin? What made you move towards photography? How did it start?
So, when I start, like, 12 megapixel, when I start using documenting Vanshanti Road, in the Vanshanti Road Studio Gallery located in, the art of the city, Bangalore, called Vanshanti Nagar. In the Shanti Nagar, where the Vanshanti Road Studio Gallery, the same street, one guy, his name is like, Vidyasagar. His name is Vidyasagar. He used to dress up like everyday MG Ramachandran. So, that is when I got a camera. So then, because of my grandfather influenced for me, like, so the mythological theater means I used to go with my grandfather to the behind the scene. So my grandfather used to take me to behind the scene. Then people are coming as a normal, and they become something, either Rama, either Ravana, either Bhima. So for me, that's in my memory. Then overnight, I'm not able to continue to. Overnight, I'm not unable to finish the mythological theater. Morning I wake up, then I'm at home. My memory and in the mythological theater, the behind the scene, normal people become something, some characters. So that's always in my heart. When I started, I try to capture that kind of the subject, and I'm lucky enough, then I got immediately the same street that Vidyasagar used to live. I start documenting the MGR impersonator. And 2008, I 12 megapixel camera, and 2010 I bought like a professional camera. That immediately, when I bought that professional camera, after 2 months, I met the Basavaraj, the Gandhi impersonator. I was in duty. He came to perform in some cultural program in Bangalore. I saw him. So then I'm unable to talk with him. Then the day I finished the duty, afternoon 2:30, I'm back home. Then I took my camera, running back to the cultural center. I'm unable to find him.
Tell us, Cop, your mother, when she saw this whole series, the final product, what was her reaction to it?
So my mom, my mom, so then she grew up seeing my grandfather is a mythological theater actor. My grandfather we used to do small role. And like he used to organize the summer, like the mythological theater. He used to collect all the farmers to play together, to organize the a theater and the summertime. So the many good actress used to come to my grandfather's house to have some food sometime. My mom saw all these like the theater actors, but she never thought in that generation women we are farmer community, the women's basically in my mom generation women's are all thing is not much educated also, just they got married early, and then just she taking care of children and land and all. So when I started this project, my mom, for her is not a surprise, but she knew certain things. But she initially little hesitate, so then she able to do or not, if, now my mom is almost, when I started the project, almost she's 61, 61-year old. Then, then when I did a first shot, so, then just like, one 30 minutes. So then she start enjoying, then I think she took over me, and then she used to guide me, like, so then I got surprised. That's why I'm saying, so without her support, so without her willingness, and without her passion, and like, she's enjoyed it. Then yeah, I know is no more word to describe than how my mom, like, to help me, stood with me, supported me, participated me, collaborated with me. This project, this is unbelievable for me. So no, I'm overwhelmed. I'm blessed to have, this, like, this powerful mother.
Yours is such an inspirational story. You've truly followed your passion. What would be your words of advice to people who want to walk that path?
Then actually, then the simple advice, follow your passion and prepare well. So that's why I tell everyone, preparation is the most important. You come to any creative line. So, so talking is different, and creating is different. So that's why, so that, like, then I know many people say, oh, look, I don't like this job. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do this. So then you start preparing. So, start working and you preparing, then you will get to know. So you're able to do, or you're not able to. So that's my, is a simple advice. Then follow your passion and prepare well.
And Cop, finally tell us what is next for you. We've just seen your most recent work, but we want to understand what's Cop Shiva's next big project.
So now, this is the no longer a memory, so then this a memory never ends, so I have still, like, so many memories. Then hopefully, so far what are all I write it down. So far I'm going to do 30 more set of images. Then I'm working on it. I think hopefully I'm planning to do some shooting next month. Otherwise, so then for me, my grandfather influence, so then I think I blessed also. Then he wanted me to be an actor. So at one point I give up. I thought, like, no, I'm not going to fulfill his dream. I know. So then, then maybe his blessing, then I'm become artist, and then I'm actually, then I'm a really successful artist now. So then I'm thinking, then for him, either Mahabharata, either Ramayana, two epics is really, he really love this both epic mythological stories. Then I'm planning to, like, to tribute to my grandfather to work on one of these series. So now I'm on the process. Then I'm start articulating and, like, thinking. Then, how can I build that project?